What's up, guys? It's Jonathan with One Big Impact. So today's video, as you probably seen on the thumbnail, is going to be, I'm hoping that was not a snake, is going to be when should I graduate or go to the next phases of Atkins, meaning going from induction to later phases. So and the first thing is, if you're not losing weight, then don't go into higher phases. I know that sounds silly, and you may think, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious, right? If we're not losing weight, we wouldn't transfer to a new phase. Not necessarily. A lot of people will get discouraged because they're not seeing a loss, and they'll be like, oh, well, I need to try something new. Let's try a different phase of Atkins. No, don't do that. I mean, you may dabble in like refeeding to kind of jumpstart your system or something like that, but do not, I repeat, do not jump into another phase if you're not seeing results in the one that you're in. Next thing is, in my opinion, once you are within 10 pounds of your goal weight, then you can start thinking about going into the later phases. If you are somebody that watches the scale and is controlled by the scale, or you're a slave to the scale, you look at it every morning or something like that, maybe wait until you actually hit your goal weight. Because a lot of the times, even if you don't, okay, so induction, you're gonna lose weight fast, gets rid of all your glycogen stores, you're burning fat as fuel, but then when you start reincorporating those carbohydrates and stuff like that, you won't be losing weight as rapidly. So it can be very discouraging for those of you that are controlled by the scale. But generally speaking, once you're within 10 pounds of your goal weight, then you can start kind of easing in to like phase 2. Number 3 is, don't go into later phases until you actually have a clear understanding of a game plan. A lot of people will go into different phases of Atkins and they'll say, well, I just wanted to reincorporate carbohydrates. I went up to 40 or 50 or 60 and I'm not really sure what I was doing, but I'm gaining weight again. Okay, do your research, ask the questions, post questions in the group. By the way, if you're new here, we have an amazing support group called Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. I will put the links in the description below. It's on Facebook, also onebigimpact.com, as well as some other links if you're getting started on your low carb lifestyle, I will say, that things and tools that can be helpful. So please check those out in the description below. But you need a very clear understanding, not only a game plan of what you're going to do, but also what needs to be done. Okay? You have to know what you're going to do, or else you're setting yourself up for complete and utter failure. And trust me, if you've worked your butt off to get these results, you don't want that to happen. Now, the next one is number 4, is kind of a question being answered, but also it's a very popular question that I hear a lot. A lot of people say, well, when do I go into it? Can I stay in induction? So another reason, or another way of telling when to go into other phases, is just when you're ready. If you want to stay in induction and do refeeds every once in a while, so be it. You do what makes you comfortable. If you don't want to go to phase 2 and find a carbohydrate threshold and maintenance carbs and stuff like that, you don't feel comfortable reincorporating the stuff, do what you feel is going to be most successful for you, because you are the one that has to do it. If I'm comfortable with eating 200 carbs a day and that's my threshold, but I know I can control myself and not eat 50,000 desserts a week, that's fine. If you're somebody that says or knows they can't do that, or vice versa, then that's up to you, and you do it when you are absolutely ready and never before. Okay, so 5, 6, and 7 are all going to be basic overview tips of what I think you should remember when you're going into next phases, because a lot of people that watch this video Hopefully there is a lot of people that watch this video. But if there's a lot of people that watch this video, then a lot of you guys will jump right into it and just say, you know what, I'm going to the next phase, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so be ready. Here's 3 quick little tips. First of all, okay, you're not just going to say, I'm going to jump from 20 to 40 and I'm good. It's not necessarily how it works. What you're going to focus on is the first week, you are going to go from 20 carbs a day to 30 carbs a day. You're not increasing by 10 each day, ending up at like 100 or something like that. You are going to be just incorporating one food that bumps you up to 30 carbs a day. The reason you're doing this now, if the next week, and you're going to stay at that for a week, if the next week you end up gaining more, take that food out, switch it with a different one that gets you to that 30 carbs. The reason you're doing this is because you may gain weight with, for instance, carrots, or you may gain weight with almonds or something like that. So know that after you see a steady state or your weight loss continues, because, and this is, if you're at a goal weight, if you're at your goal weight, you want to stay still. If you still have 10 pounds to lose, you want to see a gradual incline. And if you are in that I still have 10 pounds to lose phase, and you went to a new phase, Atkins 40, then make sure, I would go a little bit further than a week, okay? Because maybe that first week you don't lose weight, but the second week you for sure should. So remember, this is a gradual, very slow process. Add one food at a time. Just to be a little bit more clear, when you add one food, this is number 6, I accidentally spilled into number 6. When you add the one food, make sure it's not a food that is a trigger food for you, okay? If you are triggered by fruit or something like that, leave those until later, because that way you can at least get through this process, okay? It's like putting a bunch of numbers on a calculator, okay? You do that really fast in real life, but when you're actually doing it with your diet, it's a little bit different, and it's like using a calculator that takes you a month, okay? Or it could take you 2 months. You didn't gain the weight overnight, and it's okay to take your time to make sure you're successful for the long run. This isn't about losing 50 pounds and winning a prize or something like that, you guys. It's about sustaining weight loss over life. And number 7, and probably the most important factor of all of this, many people come to me all the time and they say, hey, I went from this many carbs to this many carbs and something happened. I ended up gaining 20 pounds. What the heck happened? Okay, so the one key factor that you have to remember is you are increasing your carbohydrates through foundation vegetables or nuts, or like low-fat milk, yogurt products, or berries, strawberries, pineapples, cottage cheese, things like that. What you are not doing is increasing the amount of food you are intaking, okay? So you don't go from, I was eating 20 carbs to 40 carbs, but now I'm eating 3,000 calories, or I ate the same food I had, plus I added a bunch of other stuff. You're gonna need to restructure your meal plan, because you want to be eating roughly the same amount of food, quantity-wise, rather than trying to double it just because your carbs went up. So you won't be necessarily eating the same things. I want you to focus on about a third of your meals are still coming from foundation vegetables, and then your allotted amount, in addition to that, go ahead and add a little bit of carbohydrates. As far as like, and once you get to higher phases, I think even 40, you can probably put some toast and different things in there. But you have to remember, do not increase the quantity of food, just the carbohydrate density of the food. You guys, I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Again, like I said, be stronger than your excuses and remember to spread love, not hate.